Real Virginia is proudly produced by the Virginia Farm Bureau Federation. For almost a century, Farm Bureau has been a friend of the farm for all Virginians. Visit our website at vafb.com.
Hello everyone, and welcome to Real Virginia, a show about Virginia agriculture and the people who produce the wonderful local products we enjoy. Brought to you by the Virginia Farm Bureau. We take a look at new ways drones are being used in agriculture. Chef Tammy has a cheesy eggplant recipe, and we'll show you a brand new way to explore Frederick County agriculture.
Home will always be Virginia, between the Blue Ridge and Chesapeake Bay, Atlantic to Appalachia, home in my heart always.
Welcome back to Real Virginia, everyone. We're coming to you this week from Drumheller's Orchard in Nelson County, a great county for flying drones. Drones are becoming more commonplace in everyday life. We even use them on Real Virginia, and farmers are finding new ways to use them in agriculture. Here's a look at the latest applications for this high-flying technology. Drones in agriculture are taking off in popularity, and farmers, drone manufacturers, and other stakeholders met for the Mid-Atlantic Spray Drone Workshop this summer on Virginia's Eastern Shore.
So there's lots of uses for drones in agriculture. We have the application of most pesticides, which are insecticides, fungicides, herbicides. And then you also have the ability to apply granular materials as well, fertilizer, seed, AF8, these types of granular products that may need to go out.
For agriculture, drones are especially valuable because they allow a farmer to target specific areas of a field, saving money on applied products and reducing their environmental impact. Drones designed for agriculture are much bigger than drones used for photography and recreation, but farmers also often use camera drones with special sensors that can map their fields. That information is captured on what is called a shapefile, a way to digitize geographic information.
Such as locations and what happens at those locations. For instance, in this case, we have a georeferenced location, and then we know that there's a weed at that location. But it also could be a nutrient deficiency as well.
Drone manufacturers were also on hand at the conference, including Aerial Technologies based in Florida.
Here, this drone is currently configured with a granular payload system. All of these drones have interchangeable payload systems, so you can swap this out for a liquid payload system. We've got an ultra-low volume payload system, and we've also got a multispectral LiDAR imagery payload system as well. Just like with photography drones, pilots of agriculture drones must obtain a Part 107 commercial license from the FAA. But they also have to obtain a Part 137 license from the FAA, allowing operators to disperse crop applications in the payload. Even though these drones are much bigger than photography drones, the battery life is similar for both, about 10 to 15 minutes. So if a farmer is trying to cover a large field, he or she will typically ride in a vehicle, land the drone, change the battery, and, if necessary, the payload, and launch the drone for the next section. Using a drone for land management can also be safer for farmers. It's really great as another tool in the toolbox where you've got an area that may be too dangerous for manned aircraft to go. It's a little cleanup, so it doesn't financially make sense to call out a helicopter or a fixed wing. Or it's an area where it's just difficult to get to, like a canal, a ditch, somewhere you don't want somebody on foot, and it's going to be a little treacherous.
This event was organized by the Eastern Shore Agricultural Research and Extension Center, part of Virginia Tech, and featured a demonstration of the Precision Vision 40X drone. The drone can go to a specific spot and, using a nozzle underneath, spray a relatively small area of crops, which is fine as long as the wind isn't blowing. But if there is wind, pilots will need to move the drone a few feet to either side.
So definitely wind would be a major factor if you are not seeing that accuracy in terms of the efficacy of the herbicides you are applying.
Speakers at the event agreed that drones for agriculture will get bigger, and their payloads will be able to hold more volume. The point of this conference is to show how the drones can be used to micromanage a crop field, saving farmers time and money, and possibly having a little fun flying in the process. In Accomack County, Virginia, I'm Burke Moeller reporting.
Drones are just one aspect of a wide range of advanced technology used in modern agriculture to increase yields and better protect the environment. GPS systems became commercially available around 2004 and revolutionized how farmers raise row crops. For the first time, they could accurately deliver precise amounts of fertilizer and crop protectants and measure the results at harvest. Other breakthroughs include genetic engineering to breed more productive plants and develop targeted herbicides. When combined with aerial observations from drones, these tools allow growers to better meet their goals of making a profit and helping feed the world.
Hi, today we're going to be talking about late season planting in the vegetable garden from the ground up. Please stay tuned.
Farming is a rewarding way of life, but it can also be full of challenges. If you or someone you know is struggling, call or text the AgriStress helpline at 833-897-2473. It offers 24/7 access to professionals who can support someone in need and help find mental health services in your community. Please make the call, because healthy farms depend on healthy farm families. That's 833-897-2474.
It may be the end of summer, but that doesn't mean planting season has to be over. Chris Mullins with Virginia Cooperative Extension shows us some smart suggestions for late season planting from the ground up.
Well, hi and welcome. Today we're at the Fauquier Education Farm. We're here with the Executive Director, Mr. Jim Hankins. Jim, it's a little warm today, but we're heading right into fall.
Yep.
It's late in the season, and I know you've got a lot of things that you're growing here on the farm that are finished up. You're pulling things out, but you're doing something a little different here. What have you got growing here, and tell me about the timing?
Well, it's really important to us every year to do our fall cabbage, broccoli, cauliflower plantings, and they start going in August.
Okay.
Right here, we had a couple extra rows. We had gotten all the cabbage planted, and there were a few rows empty, and I'm just like, it looked like too good of an opportunity. So I went ahead and direct seeded some summer squash.
Oh.
Summer squash planted in August still has plenty of time to mature. Some of these rows probably will not mature until October, but we're not going to get a killing frost until late October or even November, was when we got it last year.
Right.
I can still get hundreds of pounds of zucchinis and yellow squash out of this patch.
Oh, that is great, because these are something you think of for early in the season.
Yeah.
You know, they're very, very quick to mature.
A whole lot of people, we plant summer squash multiple times throughout the year, 5 or 6 different times.
Right.
Whole lot of folks plant them once in May, and then the bugs get them and old squash are just too tough. If you keep planting a new little patch about every 3 to 4 weeks, you can keep in production well into the fall.
What a great idea. And this obviously is probably your last planting, but really, really good. I think what the take-home message here is to really consider the timing, really think about what you could still get in with the normal the frost date.
Every seed pack has the number of days to maturity. So just count back from when you expect a frost. Like these summer squash are 45 days. And I had 60 days till I'm looking at a frost.
Yep.
So I've got a green light. It's time. The way to stay in maximum production is never stop planting.
I love it. Great advice, great
Yep.
tip for the home gardener. Thank you so much for talking to us today about this.
You're always welcome.
Well, for more information about late season planting, contact your local county extension office and talk to a master gardener. From the Ground Up, I'm Chris Mullins. We'll see you next time.
From the Ground Up is presented with the generous advice and assistance of Virginia Cooperative Extension. Visit their website at ext.vt.edu.
Hi, I'm Chef Tammy Brawley from the Green Kitchen. Coming up on Heart of the Home, eggplant rollatini. We hope you'll stay with us.
Every spring and fall, Virginia farmers and other motorists nearly collide on rural roads. Sometimes these collisions can be dangerous or even fatal when a car traveling 55 miles an hour suddenly meets much slower moving farm equipment. The odds of a collision shoot up. Farm equipment operators are required to display a slow moving vehicle emblem when they're on a public road. When you see that, Slow down. Give them plenty of space to do their job. This message brought to you by the Virginia Farm Bureau Federation Safety Advisory Committee.
Eggplant strips stuffed with 3 different kinds of cheeses. Sounds great to me. Chef Tammy shows us how to make it from the heart of the home.
Hi, I'm Chef Tammy Brawley from the Green Kitchen. Today I'm going to show you guys how to work with some delicious eggplant. It is in season right now. You want to start with a fresh eggplant, and it's okay if it's a little soft or it looks a little warm because we're going to be baking it. But you want to actually peel the eggplant and you want to slice these into 1/4 inch slices. Now obviously I don't have a ruler out here, but the point of it being so thin is the fact that we're going to be rolling it up with a filling. So you want to go ahead and slice them. And I've already got some ready for when we fill them, so right now I'm just going to do a few. Put them on a sheet tray, and you want to cover them in some salt. I like to do both sides. I like to cover one side with salt, let it sit for 15 minutes, and then we flip them over, a little salt again, and then we let them sit for another 15 minutes. And then we've gotten our grill pan ready, or we're getting our grill pan ready, I should say. So we're just going to set these over to the side. So while that is sitting with the salt, we're going to go ahead and toast pine nuts. Pine nuts are absolutely delicious, very much an Italian part of the cuisine here. But you do always want a dry skillet when you toast nuts. So I've got probably about 3 tablespoons here. I've got a hot pan. We're going to put those in. You just want to kind of move your pan around. They will go a lot quicker if you happen to be using a gas stove, but that's okay. The last thing you want to do, though, or you don't want to do it at all, really, is to walk away from these because they will burn very easily and very quickly, and they're far too expensive to let that happen. So I'm just going to kind of keep an eye on them. While that's going on, I can see they're already starting to turn a tad brown. We're going to come back to our filling. We're going to crack an egg in our bowl. Going to whisk that up. All right, and we're going to go ahead and add some ricotta cheese. All right, you can see the pine nuts are starting to brown pretty quickly here. Don't want to get away from those. Don't want them to get away from you. We've got about a 1/2 cup or so of mozzarella cheese. And we've got about 1/4 cup of grated Parmesan cheese. Feel free to use the shredded that you can purchase in the store. That's totally fine as well. I'm going to whisk that up, and the whole time I'm keeping an eye on those pine nuts. All right, those are pretty much done. I'm turning my heat off. I'm going to add a little salt and pepper. A good rule of thumb when you're adding salt and pepper is twice as much salt as pepper. So we've added that. And you can see these are quite brown, and that's fine. I'm not going to use them all in the filling, but I am going to use some. So I'm going to sprinkle some in there. The reason I'm not using them all is because we're going to come back and use them as a garnish. All right, now I'm going to get some fresh basil. I love using fresh basil. The flowers are edible too, if we want to put some of those in there. Totally fine with that. I'm going to do a little chop with the basil. I think the recipe says chiffonade, and chiffonade is basically a French technique for where you do ribbons with the basil. That's not going to affect the flavor. You can certainly just do the chopping. All right, so I'm going to put some fresh basil in there. And I'm going to be warming up my grill pan to grill the eggplant. All right, now we're back, and our grill pan is warming up to grill these eggplant slices. Once you've coated them in salt, you want to go ahead and rinse them off and get them dry. I have them on a tea towel here. I do highly recommend a tea towel versus a terry cloth towel because of the crumbs, or whatever you call it, dust that can come off of a terry towel. So you want to use a tea towel, and what I'm going to do here is I'm going to spray the grill pan with a little bit of nonstick spray. I will go ahead and sprinkle them again with salt. All right, so now we're going to grill them. I'm going to turn them down with the spices that I put on there. Now they are very thinly sliced, as you saw me do, about 1/4 inch. They won't take very long to grill. And you can certainly do this on your outside grill if you would like, and certainly stop the house from heating up. And the idea that I sliced them so thin and then salted them, it keeps them nice and pliable for the rolling when we want to fill it with our filling. So the grilling will take just a couple of minutes. You do want to grill both sides. And we're not really looking to pick up the grill marks. We're more or less looking to cook the eggplant and make it a little bit more pliable for the rolling. Now when I laid these down, I laid them down with salt and pepper. So now I'm going to go ahead and salt and pepper the other side. And after a couple of minutes, we're going to flip them. So we have finished grilling our eggplant. We've nice thin slices, as I was mentioning. You want to let them cool a little bit, so we're going to be moving them over here to our pan. All right, so now they're on our pan and they're cooling a little bit. We're going to go ahead and come over to our cutting board. And you want to take our filling. If you will remember, this is ricotta, mozzarella, and Parmesan, basil, and pine nuts. Put a spoonful in the middle of our eggplant. Doesn't really matter which end you start, but you definitely probably want to start at the fatter end. Roll it up. And we're going to let that sit for a minute. All right, so I've taken our eggplant slices that we did let cool a little bit, and I've rolled them around some of the filling, put about a spoonful at the fat end or the wide end of the eggplant, rolled them up, and now we're going to put some tomato sauce. Your favorite tomato sauce. It can be homemade, it can be jarred, whatever you wish. We're going to put some of that on the bottom of our baking dish. I have sprayed the baking dish with some nonstick spray. And now we're going to take our rolled eggplant and put it in our baking dish. All right, we'll stuff another one there in the corner. And then we're going to come back with some more sauce. And by this point, I've preheated my oven to 375. We're going to top this with some more cheese, and we're going to bake it for about 15-20 minutes. All right, we're going to spread some more of the grated Parmesan cheese and some more of the mozzarella cheese. All right, and then we're going to garnish it with the remaining pine nuts that we toasted earlier. And we're going to pop this in a 375-degree oven for about 15-20 minutes. So our eggplant rollatini's been in the oven for about 15 minutes. We're going to go ahead and pull that out. Looks absolutely delicious, I must say. And we certainly want to let this cool. And there you have it, eggplant rollatini. I'm Tammy Brawley from the Green Kitchen. Join us next time on Heart of the Home.
Recipes from the Heart of the Home can be found on the Virginia Farm Bureau website at vafb.com/recipes, as well as on Chef Tammy Brawley's website at greenkitchenrichmond.com.
In 2022, Virginia growers raised eggplant on 178 farms, covering 73 acres. Most eggplant is sold directly to consumers through farmers markets or community-supported agriculture operations, or sold directly to grocery store chains. Growing eggplant in your backyard garden takes some extra steps, but it's not too difficult. It prefers a sunny location with well-drained soil. Mixing in compost or fertilizer will give the plants a boost. Eggplant is a member of the nightshade family of plants, so be careful not to plant it in soil just used to raise tomatoes or potatoes to avoid ongoing insect or disease problems.
Frederick County is known for apples and peaches, but not everyone knows where to buy them. Elijah Gryle shows us where to find the county's farm markets and produce stands, but first, you'll need your passport.
Virginians can get their passports stamped without crossing international borders, thanks to the new Farm Explorer Passport program in Frederick County, Virginia.
So now we have the adult passport and the kids passport, which has been awesome because now little kids, have their little claim to fame and they have their own little passport. So the whole initiative is to support local and buy local. Talk about your food. Know where your food comes from.
Each of the 10 featured farm markets offer the passports. Kayla Lawrence and her fellow members of the Frederick County Farm Bureau Women's Leadership Committee started the program.
It's a really great program to get people out on the farms, interactive with the farms, but it's also bringing farmer markets working together, which has not been the case in the last couple years. So it's really been nice, to be able to talk to the other markets, to figure out what they're growing. Not everybody is growing the same thing. It really helps each other out. If I run out of something, I'm a big advocate. If I don't grow it and if I'm out of something, I call my neighboring farms, whoever's closest, and going, hey, do you have a box of tomatoes? I'm out. Or hey, I need some more cucumbers.
Lawrence and her father run Richard's Fruit Market, the oldest market on the passport.
So we grow the apples and peaches. We have pears. We've got, we do like 1,000 tomato plants. We do eggplant, squash, cucumber. So we do grow a lot of the stuff ourselves. We also grow our own beef and turkeys too. And then we have our own chickens for the eggs and ducks for duck eggs. So we do have a little bit of everything. We are a small but mighty farm.
Visitors can also stop by and say hello to Kevin, the miniature donkey. Peyton Hale Slate and her family are from Kentucky and are excited to get all 10 stamps.
We went to Marker Miller first, and we just happened to be picking blackberries and playing on their playground. And when I went inside to get a bag for our blackberries, I saw the little passports and picked one up not knowing what it was. And she said, oh, you've got your passports. And I said, oh, what is it? Because I hadn't seen it before. And she said, these are passports. And you go to each farm and collect a stamp. And then at the end, you can go here and win a little prize for going to all of the places. I said, oh, that's so cool. And then she showed me that they've got the kid ones too. And so we grabbed some for our kids and we're just checking everything out. It's pretty cool.
Marker Miller Orchard's farm market is just a few miles down the road, and Heather McKay is thrilled to be a part of the program.
It has been a great experience because people are excited. They have destinations now. They kind of know, it's like a roadmap for them. And it's not only just travelers, but it's people here, locals in our county, that maybe live on the east side of the county and never have to venture to the west because they're commuting to Northern Virginia, all their shopping's right there, so they have no clue what the western part of the county actually offers. And to know that you have 10 farm markets on that side of the county that offer such a variety of things, whether it's a milkshake or donuts or a certain kind of fruit or vegetable, or just they have their little, each market has their little niche.
And McKay says the number of travelers is about to kick into high gear.
So late August, beginning of September would just be the start of apple season for us. So peaches will be finishing up, apples will be starting, and honestly, fall in Frederick County, just in general, is a beautiful time of year, just because the leaves are starting to change and things like that. And you got the crispness versus the humidity. They're gonna see lots of different apple varieties at all the farm markets, lots of apple items like great fresh baked apple pies, apple cider donuts, fresh apple cider. It's gonna be an apple celebration.
While the orchards of Woodbine Farm border Marker Miller Orchards, their farm market is located 15 minutes away, just across the Shenandoah County line. Kira Jenkins is glad to welcome new tourists.
We're getting so close to our 20th year, so we're very excited. We sell a little bit of everything, from our apples and peaches to local honeys, tons of cookies, pies, bakery, all that fun stuff. I have actually a great story that my cousin shared with me. She actually shared a story about a young lady who just recently moved here from the area, and my cousin introduced the passport program to her, and she was so excited because A, she wanted to find a great place to find local produce, and she just wanted to learn the area more. So she was very excited to A, find our farm market, and then also be able to venture out and find others as well too.
Devin Smith helped organize the program and says that travelers can make a passport weekend trip or get stamps as the seasons change.
Everything's within about a 25-minute drive from market to market. So it's possible to do it in a weekend, but we're having a lot of people come and say that they're looking forward to visiting the markets throughout the seasons. So seeing as things come in from the early April to May strawberry harvest, all the way through apples and pumpkins, and even Christmas tree farms.
When it comes to crossing the border between the suburbs and the farm women of Frederick County are welcoming ambassadors for their farm markets. Once travelers get all 10 passport stamps, they receive a prize at the Winchester Frederick County Convention and Visitors Bureau. Interested explorers can visit thefarmexplorer.com to learn more. Reporting from Frederick County, Virginia, I'm Elijah Griles.
We're so glad you could join us to celebrate all the bounty Virginia has to offer. From the kitchen to your home and garden to our beautiful wide open spaces, we're proud to say that this is real Virginia. For everyone from the Virginia Farm Bureau, thanks for watching. Make it a great week.
Home will always be Virginia, between the Blue Ridge and Chesapeake Bay, Atlantic to Appalachia.
Every year, 500 people in the United States die in an all-terrain vehicle-related accident, and another 1,000 people are seriously injured. Sadly, many of those victims are children.
Being able to have fun on an ATV, being able to use an ATV in a workplace environment, there's a lot of unknowns. Number one tip for riding an ATV is definitely wearing a helmet. You think about the opportunity to overturn an ATV, imagine your head the same density as a watermelon. And how easy it would be to crack. One of the biggest things that we always push for anybody we train is always make sure that you have a good quality helmet before you ride. Parents are the leading example of what children tend to follow when they're out using an ATV on a farm. So we want to make sure that our parents are very knowledgeable about safety and equipment and being able to teach their children the correct method to operate an ATV safety, especially with the age. Age is important.
This message brought to you by the Virginia Farm Bureau Safety Advisory Committee.
You're going to need me. You're going to need us. All of us. You're going to need our help with your water, your air, your food. You're going to need our determination, our compassion. You're going to need the next generation of leaders to face the challenges the future will bring. And we promise we'll be there when you need us.
We have 37 parks across the Commonwealth. Every year, 10 million visitors enjoy 600 miles of trails from beaches to mountains, hundreds of cabins and campsites, even yurts. We are Virginia State Parks.
Put the keys down, Kevin. But I'm gonna drive home. There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
My text to emoji ratio has gotten a little out of hand.
A little?
Yep, I'm definitely gonna call a ride home.